rock. Draft a quarterback, you know that's good at throwing dots. The right wide out can put a team's lights out. Scoring one play because he ran the right route. A good kicker get you 6 on a field goal. I like to trap it on the waiver, that's a real goal. PPL is like a game of chess. You need to think ahead to have a chance to be the best, and that is facts. It's a war between the alpha and omega. More intense than Street Fighter on the Sega. Your team is weak, it's time to make a couple trades. Get a player off the waiver just to plug them in and play. Do whatever that it takes so you can win it. Make it to the ship so you can say that you were in it. If you don't win it, then it means you're number 2, and number 2 ain't number 1, so number 2 ain't good enough. Just means you couldn't get it done. You had a run but couldn't finish. So when next year comes, I hope you're doing something different. Plan to make it to the top, you need to build right. Make a trade to win the game as if it feels right. 25 is here, the new year starts, draft night. Hope that you're ready for the fight like Friday night lights. Keep the enemy in sight, try to beat them like you might. Yeah, fantasy is back and PPL is where it's at. PPL is where it's at. The wait is finally over, PPL is finally back. Everybody ready, trying to be the next champ. Yeah, you know the show is starting when you hear the new rap. Welcome back to the twins, to the gaff and the gods, to the boss. Trade 50 in the squad, to the plays, baby gas, Argonauts and the skulls. We've been waiting too long, man, it's finally time to ball. Yeah, it's time to get it on.
PPL Live, week 4. Yep, we are at the quarter point already deep into the 2024 season. September is almost over. But before we jump into week 4, we got to take an eye back to our week 3 matchups. Starting with only for the boss, leaving no doubt in a huge matchup in the Alpha Conference, 170 to 131. Patty's Twins gets the big win in the interconference matchup, 143 to Trey Fitty's 124. Kev's TNT does it, gets their first win in style, storms back with a Monday Night Miracle, 103 to Squad Underestimated's 100. Appease the Gods gets into the winner's circle, big win over the United Players, 105 to 81. And the Skulls got some more of that Monday Night Magic. Get it done. Get into first place in the Omega Conference. 85 to the Gaff Attacks. 84. Man, Ulysses, what a week in the PPL. I know you had a great time. I did too, man. What stands out to you about these week 3 matchups?
I mean, again, we're seeing a lot of parity within the league. A lot of teams are good. Certain teams are taking losses that they really can't afford to when we get later into the season and playoff seeding starts going. So I'm excited.
No, definitely, man. Definitely. So let's jump into it. Before we part ways with week 3, we got to take an eye back and get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know how it works, PPLers. The good, the bad, and the ugly of week 3. Ulysses, let's hear it. Week good, bad, ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to give it to Only for the Boss. I mean, you said it. They left no doubt this week. And I had the Argos winning this matchup.
Right.
And, I mean, went down fighting. I mean, 131 is a loss is nothing to slouch at, but 131 in a loss hurts. When I look at the other side, I mean, we've talked about the Chiefs' offensive struggles. They didn't, again, explode on offense. Mahomes had a respectable day. Chiefs win. And Travis Kelce just sliding here. I think what's good, though, here is Dallas Goedert on the bench getting some action, and with some injuries in Philly, I think he's primed to get more action.
Right.
When I look at what Kyron Williams, Jawan Jennings, huge productive day.
Right.
Zach Moss, and then you get 23 from your D. I mean, this was all around effort. This guy was getting it everywhere. It was a great week for the Boss against a divisional opponent that they have history. This one sets up a great rematch later in the season.
All right, man. Let's hear your bad.
Bad. All right. It's just got to come down to it. For me, the Gaff got greedy. When I look at how this matchup played out, starting on Thursday night, Ramondre held to -7. I think everybody was like,
yeah,
this might be bad. And again, barring that, this guy was backloaded. Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, Gesicki all playing on Monday night. Then you see what else is happening.
Right.
Houston defense, 4 points, not a great day. Buccaneers coach losing early on in the day. Now, right there, that's where I think Gaff had to make a decision.
Right, man, because it was like that game right there, it wasn't even close. You knew that they were going to take that L for quite a while.
They lost handedly you're double dipping with Raiders coach and D. You mentioned this last week, Geno.
Right.
And again, he had an opportunity once the coach gets that L. Hey, drop the coach. You've got the defense. Ride this. This is a move the Gaff typically makes. You're talking about a highly attentive owner.
Yeah.
And again, in a week that his team couldn't not have that level of vigilance, he was asleep at the wheel. He had -11 from the D and coach combined in a game that he lost by 1 point.
Right.
This one's going to linger for the Gaff. He's going to know that he could have won this matchup. Again, no hats off to Josh Allen and Jamar Chase, but he's got to know that Josh Allen can bring that. We were talking about this, Geno.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's looking like the best QB in the league.
Right.
And bar none played like it this week.
Yeah.
Gaff had a bad week. I'm hoping he gets right, but he underperformed in a week he really couldn't afford to. And, after the Skulls looking, on the ropes after they started, again, 2 quality wins and looking to get a third.
No, definitely, man. All right, man, let's hear it. We've all been waiting for it. Let's hear ugly.
I think we know where ugly is. Highly disappointed, right? Let's take a step back.
Okay.
First off, you're not respecting your opponent. Squad's out here talking about, hey, why am I not getting good?
Right.
When he did get good.
He
that
did
week.
get good.
I guess your opinion doesn't matter to the squad.
I guess not.
I don't understand. You're giving the cat love, and I don't understand why he's so focused on what I'm looking at. Because what I'm looking at is the struggles his team was facing. I called it up and down this past week. I told him, 49ers coach, be careful there. You don't have the guy you need. And again, took a loss there. Okay. Moving on further, Tyreek Hill, 5.5. He's missing Tua.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. CJ and company really couldn't get started. Across the lineup here, we're looking at high scores. Behind Saquon, it's the Jets D.
Right.
And, he did 25 points under what
projection.
He was projected to. Yeah. Cavs TNT was under their projection by 15. Went out there and got a 20-point coach win. Joe Burrow played fairly well in a loss. I was really disappointed in squad here. Again, stop worrying about what we're saying on PPO Live. Focus on your season here. And again, let's be honest, Geno.
Yeah.
Season of no excuses 2.0.
Right.
I was all squad.
Right.
And what I'm saying and telling squad is that this is not the same team he had those seasons.
Right.
He needs to be a little bit better at the moves he's making, and again, acknowledge some of his shortcomings. I would expect, again, with where he's at, some of these guys that are hurt, he could probably maximize their trade value. Who knows what they're going to look like on the other side of this?
Right.
How committed is he going to be to these guys who are banged up? I think squad absolutely has the type of team to bounce back, but he's certainly going to be remembering this loss when things tighten up in this alpha conference. Can't really take it away from Kevin's TNT. A win's a win. Welcome to the league. And hey, you caused your first ugly, so congrats.
No, definitely, man, definitely. And squad's got to get over that hubris, man. Every week you got to keep the pedal to the metal. Took his foot off the gas a little bit. Got a little too focused on high side and got bit by Kev's TNT. That TNT finally exploded on somebody. First win against Scott underestimated. My good, man, is a team that just keeps doing it and keeps doing it over and over again, and that's Patty's Twins. Great week by the Twins. You called it, man. Damn near left no doubt. 143. Great week. Jonathan Taylor looked great in that win over Chicago. Jordan Mason, not a great game from the points, but he still is getting fed. Amon-Ra finally showed up. And let's talk about Malik Neighbors, man. Great home run, first-round draft pick. These are the kind of picks you dream of in the PPO. Rookie who's getting fed and who's showing that he's going to be a high-caliber player for years and years to come. And obviously, Brock Purdy, the head of the snake, 3 TDs, getting it done for the Twins in a great performance. So they're my good. My bad, man, is a team that I really feel like has just got to do better, and that's Trey Fitty. This is the second week in a row that the game just kind of got away from them. Now, they got up 45. I thought that they were going to do some work after the Jets kind of helped set them up. They just couldn't get enough. I thought that Drake London needed to be in that lineup. His 15.7 really would have helped out. Deontay Johnson getting Andy Dalton is another big thing. And the insistence on that double up with the Cardinals really bit him here, man. James Conner, 3 points, just not going to get it done. And then, obviously, Dalton Kincaid, who was a keeper on the bench, while Kyle Pitts stinks it up with 6.9. Trey Fitty's got to jump on it and get some wins because this is looking like a really promising year for them. And they don't want to let it get away from them early. The Alpha Conference is going to be a dogfight, as we see, and they know they got to pick up wins where they can, especially in a game like that. And my ugly, man, is a team that I really had a lot of high hopes for, and that's the United Players, the Destroyers. Lowest scorer of the week with only 81. Anthony Richardson, after that 30-point week one, has looked like a shell of himself since that. 5 points. Derrick Henry salvaged the day with 30, but other than him and Rashee Rice, there was really nothing to write home about. Trey McBride also came down with an injury. Calvin Ridley with 1.4. It was just an ugly, ugly week for the United Players. And this is a team that can bite you any week, but they look like they had no teeth this week. And if they're going to have any chance of competing in Omega, they've got to get that score up because 81 points just ain't going to get it done. But as I always say, what's past is prologue. It's time to move on and move up, and it's hard to start with those same United Players as we start in the Omega Conference with a huge matchup in the PPL. Two teams who need this game more and more as we go down the line. We got the United Players, the Destroyers, taking on the Gaff Attack. All right, man, two teams who had disappointing weeks. My ugly against your bad. We got the United Players coming in who have lost the last two, and the Gaff Attack who came back on Monday night. What do you think of this one? United Players, the Gaff.
I'm so torn on this matchup because as it's currently lined up, I think I like the UP.
Oh, wow.
I think the Gaff needs to make some lineup changes. Again, I understand that Jalen Hurts didn't have the greatest week last week.
Right.
But I think that game at Tampa Bay has a lot more potential than
How does an overreaction?
Yeah, I think it's reactionary.
Okay, yeah.
I'm looking at Pat Fryermuth in there over Isaiah Likely. I mean, this guy went out waivers first week, made him the top waiver claim. If anybody watching Baltimore football knows that the torch has been passed.
Right.
Mark Andrews is done.
Right.
And it's Isaiah Likely. So I don't understand in a game that is going to require all of what Baltimore has to get Buffalo, why he doesn't have Isaiah Likely in this game.
Right.
I like the Texans coach. I'd be skeptical with Dallas D. That Dallas team is highly questionable. And I think Kenneth Walker coming in, again, may help. But again, I like Jalen Daniels coming in and Isaiah Likely. I think if he makes those two moves,
yeah,
I've got this as the lock of the week. As it currently stands, I still got him winning, but it's going to be a squeaker.
Okay.
I've got the Gaff winning this one 104 to the UP's 101.
This one, I'm with you, man. I don't think it really matters if he plays Kyler or Jalen Hurts. Like I said, Jalen Hurts has been kind of turning it over. I think the Gaff is starting to see that a little bit too. When I look at the United Players, Anthony Richardson going up against Pittsburgh is just not a good matchup. Derrick Henry against Buffalo. Buffalo's looking better and better by the week. I do like Rashee Rice's matchup, and I think DeAndre Swift can definitely run on that Rams defense, but Chicago's got to figure out what their identity is. I do not like Calvin Ridley. Don't understand how he's going to keep going to that well. On the Gaff side, like you said, man, I think he's just too good. Kenneth Walker's getting back into that lineup. Pat Freiermuth is, to me, the better option right now. I think Baltimore, the ball could go anywhere. Lamar could run it. They could run the ball 40, 50 times. At least with Pittsburgh, you know that they're going to throw the ball a little bit more consistently. DK Metcalf and CeeDee Lamb, I think are both due for big games. I think the Gaff Attack gets this one regardless. I got them going 124 to the United Players 99. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into a matchup of equal significance in the Alpha Conference, a big one between two teams that are big rivals. We got Squad Underestimated going up against the Argonauts. All right, man, both of these teams coming into this matchup off of L. Squad Underestimated losing pretty much at the gun on Monday night. And the Argonauts, despite a pretty high-scoring effort, losing to only for the Boss, who had a leave no doubt performance, man. What do you think of this one? Big one in Alpha Squad, Argo.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is going to be one of the most entertaining matchups of the week. Certainly, two owners with history. I don't like the Argo this week, though, and I'll tell you why. The Dallas Cowboys heavy lean here. He's all in. He's got Dak. He's got the kicker, and he's got the coach. So if as we said, Malik is showing that him and the rest of the guys on that Giants team, right, I think they could get at Dallas. I mean, again, that week 1 win is looking like a long time ago. Right. And again, anybody who watched that Baltimore game, like they made it competitive towards the end, but it took a long time to get going. James Cook, I think, is well suited. A-Chain, and again, frankly, everybody in Miami is gonna feel the change in quarterback. Now, they got Hundley. I expect that to crack in a few weeks, but we were talking that might take a few weeks, right? And I expect Tennessee to try to disrupt that. Chris Godwin's coming back. George Kittle's coming back. It's just there's a lot more uncertainty. Other side, I think CJ's due for a big bounce back. Jacksonville's the perfect foil for that. Nobody's really been able to stop Saquon. Alvin Kamara's a little banged up, but I think he plays. Now, Tyreek Hill, again, I think him and A-Chain basically cancel each other out in this matchup. Right. I think Stephon Diggs balls. I think Brock Bowers is going to have to be a relief option against Cleveland. I don't like Tony Pollard here, but, I mean, he keeps starting him. I don't know why. Right. I think he could go any other direction, and I think he could do better. Injuries are really starting to play here, but I like the Jets D, and I really like the 49ers coach against New England. I think that Squad ultimately has enough here, and I've got him winning this matchup 128 to the Argo 123.
All right, man. I think I'm going the other way. I think that when I look at the matchup, the Giants are probably exactly what Dallas needs to get back on track. They've got a really long track record of just kind of beating up on the Giants. So, I mean, we'll see about that because obviously a new year, it might be a new team. And the Giants have looked a little bit better. But at the same time, Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones. I'm looking at James Cook against Baltimore. I think that he's got room to really get busy in the passing game as a receiving back. And at the end of the day, between Achane and Hill, Achane doesn't have to run downfield to get the ball. All he has to do is turn around and hand it off. Tennessee is not a very good defense right now. I think that actually favors the Argo. Now, where the Squad really, I think, has a good shot is at the running back position. I'm really liking Saquon Barkley right now and what he's doing in that Eagles offense. He's looking like exactly what they needed. And then Alvin Kamara's high usage right now is something that Squad can lean on. Outside of those two players, I don't know what really else we can call dependable. Now, yes, the Niners coach should beat New England, but are we really looking at a 20-point coach win like we could have shoot in like a year ago? Because I don't know. CJ Stroud against now Jacksonville is looking like what a team needs to get right. But to me, Houston hasn't been as impressive as at first expected. Even in their wins, they weren't world beaters. At the end of the day, I think the Argonauts need this one and they get it. I got the Argonauts getting this matchup 129 to Squad Underestimated 112. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into our interconference matchup of the week. A big one in for both of these teams. We got Appease the Gods going up against Cavs TNT. All right, man. Like I said, big one for both of these teams. Both of these teams just got their first win. Both of these teams would love to stack another one. What do you think of this one? Interconference one. Not as big a deal, but hey, win after win after win is always a good thing. Want to stack some momentum. Who do you think gets this one? ATG, TNT.
Yeah, ATG getting their first one of the season. Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's really putting together a campaign. Exciting matchup against Buffalo. I think we're going to see two of the top quarterbacks battling it on Sunday night.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's going to be a great matchup. Bijan Robinson still being stifled as a part of just Atlanta just failing to launch, but David Montgomery showing, man, he should have been a keeper. I mean, anybody who did get an opportunity and missed there, I mean, that guy's going.
Definitely.
Nick Warren got involved. DJ Moore got involved. It was good to see Caleb get a little bit more production. The surprise to me is Colby Parkinson. We see Mark Andrews on the bench, but I mean, anybody knowing ATG, if you're out here delivering zeros, it's going to be hard to get a roster.
You're not going to last, yeah.
Liking Brian Robinson against Arizona, Browns at Las Vegas. Should be an interesting matchup, and he picked up a new kicker. When I look at the other side and why I think ATG gets this, it just comes down to being banged up, man. If Joe Mixon was playing, which it is looking like he will not,
right? I
think that right there, it really tanks TNT this week. He does have Charbonnet on the bench, but with Kenneth Walker III looking like he's coming back,
right,
that productivity really drops off. And you know, Gino, we talked about this after the draft, that the running back depth was really going to come into factor for Cavs TNT. We're seeing it in this matchup. I think he genuinely would have a better chance. And with his wide receiver depth, I think that this owner needs to make some moves.
Right.
I think if he does, he could salvage this season. It's not as bleak as it could have been with him rattling off that win. Now, if he gets another one this week, I mean, I'll be impressed. But I think ATG has the star power in this one to get the win. I've got them going 115 to Kevin TNT's 106.
All right, man. No, I'm with you in this one. I think that ATG just has more revenues of scoring. I think Burrow can definitely match Lamar, but I don't see Jacobs matching Bijan. And I think that David Montgomery is really been probably the best pick of the draft for ATG. Terry McLaurin finally got into the end zone twice. He was a guy that ATG had a lot of high hopes for. He was a guy that they decided to keep, one of the more surprising keepers this past offseason. So I'm sure it was a sight for ATG to see him come down with 2 TDs, got him in the lineup. Liking DJ Moore as Williams throws for more and more yards. Moore will get more and more yards. And then Brian Robinson Jr., man, Eckler's out. He's one of the best flex plays in the PPL right now, so I like ATG there. On Cav TNT side, man, you don't always got to be great. You just got to be great when you have to be, and he was great when he had to be at the end of that Monday night game. Joe Burrow was awesome, but I don't like a lot of what else is going on here. Not sure about Rashid Shaheed. Now, he's probably due for a bounce back, being that he got goose-egged, but I think Amari Cooper needs to get into that lineup, man. And Zach Charbonnet, I think that he's probably carved out a bigger role in that offense, and he may be able to lean on him this week if Joe Mixon can't play. But in the end, I think ATG's got a little too much. I got them getting this matchup 115 to Kev TNT's 101. And moving on to our next matchup, we're going to a big Alpha Conference game. Trey Fitty needs this one, but only for the boss to try to get in the gap out mode. We got a big one in Alpha. We got I Need about Trey Fitty going against Only for the Boss. All right, man, big one in Alpha. Only for the Boss having a huge week, leaving no doubt, putting up 170 points. And this is without Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs coach going crazy. This was Jawan Jennings and Kyron Williams, man. What do you think of this one? Trey Fitty, obviously Jaden Daniels coming into this matchup, a big one in Alpha. What do you think?
Yeah, I think for those reasons, I mean, you point out, we'll talk about it more, but I think that this is a comeback to earth week for Only for the Boss. I mean, I'd like to see him maybe make some lineup changes before we get there. I mean, I'm looking specifically, I mean, obviously, Mahomes has got to stay. I would not be opposed to seeing Dallas Goedert, and again, ranked number 1 at the position right now.
Right.
You've already got the coach. You already got Mahomes. If Kelce falls out, you're getting that. So I think that I'd like to see a change at the tight end position. I'm also concerned about Devonta Smith. Smith and Jerome Ford did not practice as of Wednesday. I think that's problematic. When I look at the other injuries, again, Raheem Mostert, Nick Chubb, Deebo Samuel. I mean, he's got a lot of guys banged up right now.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we don't get a Roma Doomsday sighting. He did get his first score, so I think he's a viable option. But for those reasons, when I look across the way, I mean, Jaden Daniels really had his coming out party on Monday night, first time on primetime, and really just showed out in all aspects of the game. Breece Hall has shown that he's the guy, but I mean, other guys, Garrett Wilson to me has underperformed this season. He just hasn't been that guy. Marvin Harrison Jr., although really good, is showing that he's just not in the same position as Malik Neighbors is right now. And Travis Etienne is just dealing with the woes that are Jacksonville. But Dalton Kincaid, I love him being in this lineup.
Yeah.
I like Steelers D here, too. I mean, they've been playing lights out. Now, Indy and Richardson have shown a propensity to give the ball up.
Yeah.
So I think that D should have a big day. And I think that the Jets, with Aaron Rodgers just being composed, not giving up, and again, he's relying on that. He's all in on it. I think the one play that I would like to see, and you mentioned it, I think I'd have Drake London in this lineup over James Conner.
Okay.
I just think that there's more excitement in that play, and especially as Atlanta starts to get going, I like that. I've got Trey Fitty winning this game, making Alpha really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in order to do it, they're going to have to leave, no doubt. And I have them doing that this week. I think everybody gets it. And I need about Trey Fitty going 147 to only for the bosses 138.
All right, man. I'm going to go the other way on this one. I'm really liking actually this matchup for Kansas City going to the Chargers. I don't think that Herbert is going to probably play in this matchup, and if he does, he's going to be limited. This might be a game that I think Kansas City can run away with, and they're going to try to make an effort to get Kelsey the ball because it's becoming a bigger and bigger headline. Jawan Jennings is in for another week where he's going to get fed because, let's be real, Brandon Ayuk looks like a guy who missed training camp. He can't get open. He can't separate. And Jawan Jennings ate off of that. And I think that a home game against the Patriots is another opportunity for him to have a good game. I think Devonta Smith is due to end up having a Dallas Goedert type game because A.J. Brown remains out of the lineup. Jerome Ford, his time is running short. I think he wants to have a big game before Nick Chubb comes back. And like I said, I think the Chiefs win big. Now, on Trey Fitty's side, I love what I'm seeing from Jaden Daniels, man. That was a home run draft pick. Trey Fitty's finding these rookies left and right. He's doing such a really a good job of doing that. I'm with you on the James Conner thing, not really feeling that. And it seems like this Pitt-Indy game is kind of weird. This could be a game where you would see maybe Anthony Richardson sighting just because he might, run all over Pittsburgh's defense, being that they'll probably be in pretty good coverage. That New York-Denver game is a sneaky game. I could see the Jets wetting the bed and Denver getting an upset win. So with that being said, I think only for the ball sneaks by. I got only for the boss in this one, getting by 131 to Trey Fitty's 128. And moving on to our prestige matchup of the week. Big one in Omega. Two teams 2-1. One of them going to 3-1 and trying to stay at the top of the Omega Conference. Big one. Patty's Twins taking on the Skulls. All right, man. Two teams who got two great wins last week. The Twins putting up 140. The Skulls coming back, being great when they needed to be. What do you think of this one in Omega?
Yeah, I think that this one fits the bill. I mean, it has everything we need. Two 2-1 Omega teams really fighting to stay atop. When I look at Patty's Twins, I mean, I think that they have all the elements necessary. And what I'm really liking about this team, I mean, we can talk about the flashy stuff, Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Really, though, the two moves that I love is really sticking with Jonathan Taylor through the injury. I'm really loving seeing him back getting into stride.
Right.
But I really love the Jordan Mason pick when they did it. I mean, they did it before any of this was known.
Right.
So I think that the Twins are just showing that they're watching the game, understanding what could potentially be happening. And I like the Lions coach. I mean, I think Seattle's been really good, but I think that that's going to be a tough game for them to go in and win in that environment. When I look at the other side, I think that also, I mean, Josh Allen's been playing great. I think that he's going to face a real test in Baltimore. I'm excited to see it. The J.K. Dobbins, Jamar Chase finally woke up. Zay Flowers, he went out and got Cole Kmet. I mean, I love this lineup up and down. Where I think this falls apart, and I think the distinction in this matchup, because I think it does come down to this, is I think it's the Bengals coach. I think Andy Dalton showed us last week, beware the old man in a game where young men die.
Okay.
And I think that, we saw Gaff do this last week. Bet against it.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's as easy as a matchup. We've seen the Bengals struggle all season. Again, they did play better, but a rookie just came and shat on them. So
Right.
Let's not disregard that. I think Andy Dalton knows the Bengals.
Yeah.
So I think that this is one that I wouldn't be going for. And I think that with that Bengals loss and that point differential between that loss and the Lions win is the difference. I've got Patty's Twins winning this game 131 to the Skulls 127.
Man, I'm going the other way here, man. I actually think Cincinnati, they've got to win that game. And I think that Carolina thing was a 1 week boost kind of thing. Andy Dalton ain't sneaking up on nobody. Cincinnati's desperate. I think that they're going to really come into that game buttoned up, and I think it's going to be a pretty tough one for Carolina to actually win. I think Cincinnati's got a big edge in that game. Josh Allen is going to be the key in this one, man. The way he's playing and the way Baltimore is hemorrhaging yards, I know that they beat Dallas, but they damn near let Dallas come back. They're letting passing yards fly over their head left and right. It's not your parents' Baltimore secondary right now. I think Josh Allen's in for a big day. Aaron Jones going up against his old team. Those games can be interesting. I don't actually like J.K. Dobbins. Kansas City's been pretty... I think they've been pretty solid against the run in 3 matchups that I've watched them play in. I know Bijan has some good runs, but I think that J.K. Dobbins is going to be keyed on due to the fact that Justin Herbert is hobbled. On the Twins side, Amon-Ra finally got loose. I think that's really the big difference. Malik Neighbors is going to get the headlines, but Amon-Ra is the straw that stirs this drink. Devin Singletary, man, he's really starting to become a reliable RB2. The Twins got him ready to go. And it was a home run pick. I liked the pick when they made it, even though it wasn't sexy and that offense isn't all that great. And I mean, let's be real, Dallas isn't going to shut them out. And I think that they're going to have a few opportunities to score. I don't think that they're going to win, but I think that Singletary and Neighbors have enough room to eat. Love that Niners D against New England, and love the Detroit head coach. But at the end of the day, I think the Skulls have a little bit too much. I don't know if Purdy's going to have a big day as far as points go, and I think that Josh Allen's going to have to. And I think Jamar Chase is in for a huge game against Carolina. Him and Joe Burrow are finally starting to look dialed in. Zay Flowers is going to eat on the other end of that because I think that Buffalo game is going to be high scoring. And at the end of the day, I got the Skulls getting this one, staying in first place in Omega, 129 to the Twins, 115. Alrighty, PPLers, thanks for another great week of PPL Live. I hope you guys enjoyed. We are through the first month, you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the season. I am. I hope you guys continue to tune in, like, comment, subscribe. Have a good weekend, and may the odds be ever in your favor.